This week, Canada elected a desperately needed new Prime Minister. While many are celebrating the end of the previous administration, others are still frustrated with the political system that they feel is broken in many ways. Not only does our current first-past-the-post electoral system benefit two parties that have shared power since the creation of the country, but even the simple act of casting a ballot has become a struggle in and of itself. Reports are coming in across the country of pre-marked ballots, voters being turned away, polling stations closing early, opening late, or being moved without notice. Various Indigenous communities have experienced extreme ballot shortages. Take the Siksika Nation, for example, a nation of 4,700 people that received a mere 400 ballots.
In Canada's first-past-the-post electoral system, it's all about winning the most ridings. Since smaller parties can rarely ever win a full riding, their voice is never accurately represented in federal politics. For that same reason, certain swing ridings play an incredibly important role in determining who governs. In the spirit of the trending hashtag #PollWatch, I went down to one of Toronto's most contentious swing ridings with a history of voting irregularities, the Etobicoke Centre riding, to talk to voters on the ground about their experiences on voting night. But there's a backstory here, because to find out where the voting station was, I went on Elections Canada's website, but it wasn't there, so I called Elections Canada to find out where that information was and why it wasn't on their website, and this was their response.
I've noticed as a trend in the last 24 hours that the information which I normally would expect to show has not been showing, hence the notice today that we've been getting a lot of traffic on site, which is explaining why we don't have that information readily available. With certain other districts we can actually locate them, but with like yours, for example, since we can't, or rather don't have that on our database, we don't want to make any assumptions as to why they're not on our databank. Sometimes the polling sites will have a change of location. When changes have been made, they will make sure to have officers at the original location, but then that would just end up wasting a voter's time to go at the original location only to find out that it's been relocated.
In the end, I did make it down to the polling station, and of course the vast majority of folks I spoke to had no trouble voting, but there were a few exceptions.
I come to vote here since I voted here before, but I was turned away and told to vote at 57 Mabel, so I'm just going to go there and find out if there's actually voting there.
Do you think that a lot of people are experiencing this change in...
Other people turned away. I think those family, they were just behind me, they were told to vote at 57 Mabel. Because of my address, I was told to vote at 57 Mabel, so I don't know.
And we came in to vote. We didn't see a lot of people from our area, and I was kind of surprised actually. Usually we usually all come here to vote for most of our elections, and today we didn't see that many people.
Without a doubt, budget cuts to Elections Canada and the ironically titled Fair Elections Act have had a damning effect on the voting process. But there is possibly a glimmer of hope. Despite being a virtual clone of the previous administration when it comes to issues like tar sands, trade deals, and terror legislation, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister-elect, campaigned on a promise of ending the first-past-the-post electoral system and studying alternatives such as proportional representation. In the past few years, Canadians, especially young Canadians, and First Nations have demanded change. And while that word has become a mantra of the Liberal campaign, if history has shown us anything, it's that real change rarely comes solely from the electoral system. And when it does, we have to work hard to hold them to it.